This is Duke University.
One bahasa, Indonesia, one nationalism, Indonesia, and one country, Indonesia. So that's a basic of our constitution to build a diversity. We call it unity in diversity.
This is a very nice phrase, unity in diversity. I mean, the United States has one similar, e pluribus unum, which comes from Latin. In Indonesia, it comes from Javanese, Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, right? And so this is very interesting in terms of the idea that the Indonesian nation, in some ways, is born out of Dutch colonial rule. And I think one of the ways in which we can link that, I mean, it's a colonial project, but with the nation that is sort of formed out of that experience, the difficulty of ruling such an enormous nation as one has not gone away. And so this, I think, relates to the most recent elections, where we saw two very different opponents in the finals of the election. We saw, on the one hand, Prabowo, who comes from a military background, who has a very long history of human rights, perhaps violations. On the other hand, we see Joko Widodo. Thank you.
We call it Jokowi.
Jokowi, I know Jokowi. So Jokowi comes from a very different background. So I'm curious to ask, I mean, what do you think Jokowi brings from his background, and how does this relate to this diversity in Indonesia?
Yes. In other side, we're talking about diversity, but if you're talking about elections, president elections, and we have experience in many experience, all our elections, all people in Indonesia, in president elections, the candidate to be elected for presidents must be from Java.
Interesting.
Must be from Java. Why? I think it's happened in all the world. Sometimes we have a pro-modalism. It's real. I think it's a fate. It's given. It's not only happened in Indonesia, but also in the world. I mean, why all the president of Indonesia from Java? That's the question. Because the majority people in Indonesia are from Java ethnic. I think it's almost 60% of Indonesian peoples are from Java ethnics, and education in Java also more progress than another state, and development also more progress. I think this also the background why people outside Java, well, other provinces in Java protest, and that's make the new president after reform to decide the centralization system in Indonesia. But talking about long time ago, Java is more progress than other side of other province in Indonesia. So I think, except they are the majority ethnic, they are also more educated, and so until now, people said if talking about president, it must be Java.
Must be from Java.
It's
a very interesting perspective that I think it would take someone from your background who's not Javanese perhaps to see that, which is very interesting.
Some prominent figure in politician in Indonesia try. He's not from Java, like Yusuf Kala. He is not from Java. He ran for the last elections, compete with another candidate from Java. He thinks maybe because the other candidates from all of them from Java, and he was the only one not from Java. Maybe there was a solidarity from people not ethnic Java to vote for him, but in fact, he didn't got majority voter from the people of Indonesia, and SBY was elected at the elections.
I see. So you know. So what do you think Jokowi, I mean, even though he's Javanese, does he bring some distinctive characteristics or perspective to this job?
Jokowi is very unique. I think he created his political career from grassroots.
Grassroots.
He's starting as a politician in local party in in local area in we call it PDI Perjuangan. It's Indonesian Democratic Struggling Party. He's starting from the beginning, and according to his history, I read that his father also the activist of this party.
Same party.
So, same party. And then he created his career, and he was elected as a mayor in Solo. That's a small area in center of Java, and it's very traditional. If talking about Java, people say, come to Solo. It's close to Jogja. And Solo and Jogja is very close. They have it's pure Java. If you want to learn about Java, please come to Solo.
Please come to Solo.
Yes. And during his leadership in Solo, he got so many achievements. So he was promoted by his party to compete for elections to become a governor in Jakarta. Jakarta is the capital of Indonesia. This is the first time in Indonesian history people outside Jakarta compete to become a governor in Jakarta. Mostly before, when I'm talking about the history, all of the governor in Jakarta must be from Jakarta.
That's interesting.
Must be, most of them are Betawi. Betawi is the pure original ethnic in Jakarta. And Jokowi is the first person who coming from out Jakarta and compete for the governor elections to be a governor in Jakarta. And he won. Because he got a very good track record when he was leading Solo. So beside it, he is from Java, and now population people in Jakarta almost 12 million.
That's
and
enormous.
Almost 12 millions, and majority of them from Java. So it's a given for Jokowi. It's a benefit for Jokowi, and I think that's why he was elected for governor elections in Jakarta. And when he was a governor in Jakarta, he also showing to the people that how to be the good leader. I think he is the only one governor in Indonesia who popular with you call it belusukan. Belusukan, it's mean coming to the people, asking to the people, communicate with the people directly. It's never happened. I mean, it's only a few leaders in Indonesia did it. And Jokowi said, I interviewed Jokowi last on April when I was invited by East West Center. I got a fellowship, and we went to Jakarta, and we discussed with Jokowi. We interviewed him. It was before he declared to running to become Indonesian president. So he said that he only spent 2 or 3 hours a day in the office. And
the rest of the time he was among the people.
That's
remarkable.
Time to sign a document, to have a meeting with a civil servant in Governor Jakarta, in Jakarta government, and mostly his time spending meeting with the people in the rural area, in the slum area, in all area in Jakarta, asking people what happened in the field, what do you feel about situation. So he got directly input from people in the grassroots. So he is very popular and humble. When I came to his office with my friends, we were 13 people, journalists from all the world. We invited by East West Center coming to Jakarta and interview Jokowi. The officer invite us sitting and waiting for Jokowi, and 5 minutes later, Jokowi coming with the very simple T-shirts and with his very simple shoes. It looks like it's not the governor. So he checked the journalists from India. He checked journalists from China, my friends, and they didn't know he is Jokowi. So they think this is a civil servant in the government of Jakarta. It's okay, but when I say that's Jokowi,
That's him.
what?
That's remarkable.
This is Jokowi. It's unbelievable because his performance, like it looked like countrified.
That's a very different position for an elected leader in Indonesia, or an official too.
And his guy he never escorted very tightly. It's very close to the people, and then it's very easy to interview Jokowi.
So he's a very different president from other presidents or leaders in
people
the past.
think that we are very close to Jokowi's style. He is down to earth. Yeah, he's can feel what people feel about the government, about situation, whatever. So that's why I think in the last president election in Indonesia, there are million people in Indonesia to be a volunteer for Jokowi.
Wow.
They were not paid.
But they were willing to volunteer
Yes,
and help his
we
campaign.
are volunteer because we need Jokowi. And it's very. It's look like if you read in social media, it's very, how to say it, it's look like it's a war in social media between Prabowo supporters and
Is that right?
Jokowi volunteers.
So the campaign carried over from
It's
the
like,
speeches
yes,
into the social
yeah.
media world as well.
Hate speech every time.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. So I'm curious then, what you think, I mean, based on your assessment and based on what I've read as well, I mean, he's clean, he has a background not in the military, which is unusual.
Yeah.
He doesn't come from a political clan in Indonesian politics.
He's coming from grassroots.
Coming from the grassroots, he's close to the people, he listens to people.
Yeah.
So what do you think he brings to Aceh, for example? How does what kind of qualities does he bring as a new leader in Indonesia?
I think this is the new information I know. Jokowi also has emotional with Aceh. In the beginning, I think Jokowi never know about the history of Aceh. But when I read his history, and he spent 2 years living in Aceh.
Oh, he did.
After he graduated from the UGM, he went and worked in a coffee plantation in Gayo.
Is that
He
right?
spent 2 years.
What years were those when he was there?
I don't remember anymore, but
Some time ago, right? 1970s maybe? Or?
yes, 2 years after he graduated from UGM. So he spent 2 years working in coffee company. It's I don't remember. Maybe it belongs to Belgium or Holland company, and he has also foster parents in Gayo, and with the people in that area, he was built a small mosque in one village in Gayo. That's the history. That's a relation, emotional relation between Jokowi and Aceh. But talking about Aceh, not talking about the emotional. We also doubted in the beginning about what is the knowledge of Jokowi about the history of Aceh, about the history of conflict of Aceh.
It's important.
Will he pro to Aceh people when after he elected to be a president in Indonesia? That's our question. But we will not worry about it because the vice president, the vice of Jokowi, is Yusuf Kala. Yusuf Kala is one of initiator of peace process in Aceh when he was a vice of president in SBY era.
Is that right?
So even Jokowi didn't have a good knowledge about Aceh history and its conflict, but he has a Yusuf Kala. I'm sure Yusuf Kala will respect and will care what demanding by Aceh people.